Some free HIV and syphilis testing.
After nearly 3 decades of fighting HIV/AIDS, more than 140 people in the U.S. are still being infected with the virus every day. Monica Sweeney of New York City's Department of Health says the most at risk of getting HIV have limited access to medical care and don't find out they're infected until they already have full-blown AIDS.
What does that mean? That means that for those 8 to 10 years, they've been giving out HIV.
To combat that, the Centers for Disease Control recommends identifying new cases by systematically testing every patient who steps into an emergency room without asking the patient. But New York and 9 other states are in direct conflict with those guidelines. They mandate what's known as informed consent, which means healthcare professionals must explain the test and get the patient's signature.
Here in New York State, I think
St. Vincent Hospital's Dr. Antonio Urbina has been pushing for testing reform because he says informed consent has become a barrier to stopping the virus.
Anything that we can do to normalize testing, I think that's going to increase patients accepting HIV, and it's going to increase our ability to diagnose more people with HIV.
But some advocacy groups say informed consent doesn't prevent testing. Rather, it helps patients understand their treatment options if they test positive.
Just saying to someone, here's a test, here's a result, does not make them go into care.
But some hospitals, such as this one in the Bronx borough of New York, have found a way to work within current rules and even use modern technology to vastly increase the number of patients they test.
I think that patients feel much more comfortable giving this kind of very sensitive information to the computer than they do having a dialogue with the provider.
Since Jacobi instituted its streamlined program and added the computerized consent form 3 years ago, it's tested more than 26,000 patients and diagnosed 150 with HIV.
We are finding positive patients who are unaware of their disease. That's huge.
A bill to eliminate informed consent was recently introduced in the New York State Legislature.